one of the issues that at some point most of the startups and scale-ups are run into is IP. How can I protect my intellectual property? And there are several pitfalls for new companies that should and could be avoided. For that, I'm thankful we put together a panel session, and this panel session is led by Elisabeth Schludermann. She's working at Technical University in Vienna as head of funding support and industry relations, the interface between Technical University Vienna, researchers, funding organizations, public administration, and businesses. Based on her long-standing experience, she got to know all the different worlds, and she's acting now as a translator and bridge maker between business and academia. Please welcome with me Elisabeth Schludermann.
Thanks for the introduction. It's a pleasure for me to be here in charge of this session, as TU Wien is one of the academic partners of the Austrian EIT's branch, and in this respect was mainly also involved in setting up these CLCEs. So a warm welcome to our virtual roundtable, where we aim to highlight the potential pitfalls for startups and give a glimpse on how to tackle them. I know it's very challenging to be the last session of a long day, but we really will try hard. Together with me is Christoph Mandl and Eric Sturm. Christoph is Director of Communications and Customer Service at the Austrian Patent Office and describes himself as a zebra with 4 stripes when it comes to startups, as he knows the reality of life for startups from his own experience. And Eric is a product manager at IWS, accompanying SMEs to successfully develop and implement tailor-made IP strategies. So you see, we have bundled high-level expertise, and as it is, So as I said before, it's very hard to be last one, but I would like to start and wake you up a little bit with a quite provocative statement. When I was preparing for our roundtable, I came across an article in the Harvard Business Review published in March 21 entitled, "Elon Musk doesn't care about patents, should you?" So I asked myself, if Elon doesn't do so, why should then startups do? And I would like to pose these questions as a starter to my 2 table mates, and I'm quite curious about their thoughts. So Christoph, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you very much, and thanks for that question and that opener. Considering that Tesla Motors has filed, I think, 1,000 or 1,500 and even more patents itself, that's quite a bold statement by Elon Musk. I mean, maybe he doesn't care about patents anymore. That's good for him. But I'm certain he does care about ideas, creativity, and technical solutions. I'm sure about that. And we do care about those things too. So it's not only about patents, it's about all the things around your ideas that can be done and should be done. And I think Elon cares too about those things.
So Eric, from your point of view, what would you like to add to Christoph's statement?
Oh, yes. So I'd like to add, I read this article about Elon Musk, and he said he does not like patents because it's like a recipe book for the Chinese. So nevertheless, in fact, he is right in that point. So patents should not be the only IP puzzle piece you should use for your IP strategy. In fact, he said trade secrets are very important to his business, and also you can use a trademark with good marketing, or you could have a close customer relationship, or you could have a good contract management with your suppliers or NDAs or whatsoever. So patent itself, it's not everything. You should have different measures, and they should all fit together very well for your IP strategy.
I totally agree, but I think that hearing Elon Musk say things like that, it's not the example to follow for a startup. I think to just drop the idea of filing a patent only because Elon Musk said that. I'm with you, Eric. There is a lot of things to do for startups, and unfortunately, they do not at this point of time. So I can maybe share some key findings from a recent study, a survey we did. We asked 7,000 plus startups in Austria and analyzed their data. And we found that only 6% of those startups do have trademarks, and only 1.7% do have patents or did file a patent. And we think that's not enough. We think that has to be a way bigger number. And yes, not every startup is a tech startup and has a technical solution to protect, but without a brand, there is no such thing. So, and that's my first statement and my first thing I want my point I want to make. Please think about your brand. Think about your intellectual property. What do you want to do in order not to fall behind and have problems in the end? And maybe we can talk about the potential threats and problems that occur in the next few minutes.
Perfect. Yeah, you're doing my job, Christoph. So if you're already opening up the question, so please go ahead. No, of course. You mentioned the study, and of course also from your personal experience, for you both, I suppose there are lots of common mistakes startups do when it comes to the protection of the business model. But actually, to end up this day also a little bit positive, let's just not talk about mistakes, but please also mention some possible solutions to overcome or to deal with these pitfalls. So, Eric, may I point the word to you?
Yes, but maybe it's late, but I still like to talk about mistakes because
yes,
for a long time
mistake and then solution. You know, exactly. I'm from TUV. We are also fond of solutions.
So for a long time, I worked in research and development, and I am a nerd myself, and I was very fond of my solutions. I developed whatsoever, and in the end, I figured out no one really needs that. So it's one big mistake you can do to not think about your IP and how to use it afterwards before you started to develop something. So please, before you start any very costly development process, think about if there is such a solution already on market, and if you if you get in trouble with other IP rights, it's my solution to the mistakes you can do. Start early.
There is a parallel, I think, building a solution and asking much later if the customer needs it. Well, then you have a problem. You invested a lot of money, time, and in the end, no one needs it, right? And same with intellectual property rights or the protection of your ideas or whatever. You don't think about it. You just go and try to do your business, build and grow your business, and then problems come up. You get in trouble, and then it may be too late to take care about that. So there is a parallel. Think about and care about those things at an early stage. That's maybe an important advice.
Yes, exactly. So have a good business model, because in fact, no one really copies bad business models. Have a good business model, figure out what is IP in your company and how to protect it in the best way.
Maybe I can give an example, right? Maybe you heard of Nuki. It's a lock for your apartment or house or whatever, and you can open the door with your smartphone. It's some kind of near field or Bluetooth technology. It's a digital lock and a digital key. So, but they started off with the brand Noki, Noki. So, and they had that brand until they received a letter from Nokia, but unfortunately, it was not an investment offer. They objected and they had to change their brand. So they were lucky, or it was a well-planned scenario. I'm not quite sure. They changed their brand name to Nuki, and they had press all over, and it was great PR. It was the David versus Goliath story, right? It was great, but that was a little lucky, maybe, or maybe well planned. But that can hurt also. So maybe this is a positive story to a bad thing happening.
You stated that it's good to start early, thinking about IPs and customers, and so when early is early? When do you know it? You know, when is the best time to approach it? So if you're still in the idea phase, and then actually, where do you get information on to make the decision? What customers should I tackle, or how should I best protect my IP? And where do you get as a startup for the support or the information or the competence you actually need for your business setup?
So usually you will start with some fancy tools like a business model canvas, and you will put all your players on this nice picture, and you will figure out, yes, it's a great business model. And I would start at that point. So if you figured out a good business model, you should think about how to protect it. And there are some tools online for free you can use, for example, for a patent check. You can easily get on track and check if there's already some solution in that kind on the market or not. So I would suggest, so if you figured out a good business model, start to think about IP, and of course get some help if you find one.
Look, maybe if you do brainstorming, you have certain stages you go through. Usually, you just brainstorm, you write down all your ideas, your possible solutions, or the trademark or the brand you want to build, right? And then you get to select the things. That's the second stage usually in brainstorming. And in that stage, you should think about IP. You should think about, is it free? Is the brand taken already? Is it already protected? And if you find out that a brand is already protected, or the solution is already there, you should just get rid of it. Don't do it. Don't use it, right? So this is a very early stage, the selection stage, number 2 in a usual brainstorming scenario, right? And if you incorporate this kind of mindset in your company and in the process of starting up and then growing and scaling up, it's very helpful. And we found out in the study that startups that take care about their IP rights and about the protection of their ideas at an early stage are much more likely to survive the first 5 years, right? The chances of survival are 78% with trademarks and patents in your portfolio, and it's only significantly lower. It's 65.1% without a trademark or a patent. So I'm not saying that there is a one-to-one a correlation between having an intellectual property right and surviving, but it's an indicator. It shows how well managed maybe the company is at a very early stage, and therefore it survives. The chances of survival is significantly higher.
So the proverb, the early bird catches the worm, but only the second mouse gets the cheese in terms of survival doesn't hold true?
It really depends. So as a first mover, you have you take all the risks, and you should be very careful with your IP strategy. So, for example, do you remember MySpace, or do you remember Facebook? So there are lots of examples in this technology or internet companies where first mover is not so good at all, or they did mistakes, and so no one really knows them anymore. So yes, it really comes up to IP strategy. It has to be good to take advantage of all this first mover stuff.
I mean, usually you start with something new, right? You want to change something, you do something differently.
Yes, to make the world better, usually.
Maybe to make the world better, or grow faster than all the others. That may be an objective too. So, but you're not a startup if you're not inventive or even disruptive in a way. So, but if this competitive advantage is not defendable, is easy to copy, easy to re-engineer, it's very, very likely that you end up as a follower, right? So make your advantage defendable against now followers in order to stay ahead. And patents, that's one measure. A trademark, that's a measure, but that's a no-brainer. In my opinion, that's a no-brainer. Just do it. I mean, if you want to have a patent protection in whole of Europe, it costs you less than your Netflix subscription, right? And it's your company. You should be. That's a no-brainer. So, and I really actually don't really understand why so few startups only do protect their trademarks. And we also asked in the survey, we also asked the CEOs of the startups and the founders, is intellectual property protection and intellectual property as a topic, is that part of your strategy? Is that an important issue? And only 1/3 said it's not. Said it is. 2/3 said it's not. Sorry. Only 1/3 said it is an important issue and part of their strategy. And my opinion, that has to be way more, right?
I completely agree. So trademark is a no-brainer. It doesn't cost much, and in fact, it's your band name. So what concert will you visit? Is it Metallica, or is it these old guys desperately in need for money? So it grows with your company and just get better and better. So it doesn't cost much. It's a good choice.
And the brand, again, if you do not take care about your brand and do not protect it, and you build it, you spend every marketing euro is very it's very expensive for you. It's hard to earn that money. Is very hard. So, and you build your brand with that little marketing money you have, and then you have to change your brand name because there is someone else just taking it from you, or it existed before. So do really pick your brand name consciously and look at the IP that there already is, if it is free or not. And same with technical solutions. Keep your eyes open. And actually, there are institutions that help you. There is the Austrian Patent Office. There is cooperations with Austria Wirtschaftsservice offering Discover IP programs. There is grants. Eric already mentioned the patent voucher, the patent check. that pays you up to 10,000 euro for consultancy for your patent application, and we help you get along with those topics. So actually there is no excuse not to do it. It's easy to take the first steps, and yeah, no excuses.
So yes, we are government agencies, but we are the good government agencies, so we like to help you, in fact. So you can so if you apply for our programs, you will get coaching, you will get funding, and so whatsoever.
I won't go into the details what is a bad governmental.
They tell you that they don't care about patents.
That's true. I would like to pose the question from the chat, and also the invitation to give us some more. So one is asking, I'm developing a mechatronic product with software. Can I protect the whole product, or shall I, do I have to protect each component? What is your advice as a good governmental institution?
It depends. No.
An Austrian answer.
No. Really, we are really happy to have a closer look at what you have and what you're working on. And you know, with patents, you can have protect the procedure. You can have some mechanical details. You can even have parts of the software then later as part of your patent. So it's not easy to answer just by knowing that you're into mechatronics, right? We have to take a closer look at the solution, and we're happy to do that. And the expert in the field, I'm not an expert in mechatronics or any other technical field, but there are those experts available to you.
So I agree, it's a great opportunity to have a Discover IP talk. It's approximately 2 hours, and you will have all these experts from Austrian Patent Office and from Austria Wirtschaftsservice, and we would gladly ask, answer that question, not ask a question, sorry. It's something you can't answer in 5 minutes. It's something you should answer in like 1 or 2 hours minimum.
So, but there's a clear invitation to approach AWS and the Austrian Patent Office, and to have a closer look on this technology. So maybe you mentioned it, and maybe to make it more explicit, as we are running a little bit out of time. So you mentioned it's always good to know your market. It's always good to know the enemies, but or the co-competitors or the friendly competitors. So you also mentioned the patent check, but I'm quite sure, and we will send also you, if you audience, it's very hard to do it, you know, totally virtually. Services. So we made a compilation more or less, but maybe you can also highlight the must have in support from your friendly institution. I really like this expression.
I would say Discover IP is a must-have. You will get lots of information in a very short time. Another option is to discover IP.at site. It's so you will get some useful information there. It's very good. In fact, it's very good. Please visit discover.ip.at. And maybe another option would be to visit ipforbusiness.org. IP for Business, one word. It's by Professor Wurzer from Strasbourg. He does a good job on explaining IP strategies to everyone.
Yeah, and I would add, make intellectual property a crucial component of your strategy, and appoint someone to take care about that topic. In a nutshell, find someone who is your Chief Intellectual Property Officer.
So this would be your good advice for future startups concerning their IP strategies? Yeah. And yours, Eric?
Visit us and get help.
Come to the friendly site. they also have cookies. Okay, so maybe you just finish with a take-home message, and or was it your take-home message? Just visit. But
no, maybe to sum it up.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's not just one sentence, it will be a bit more, sorry. IP strategy is important. It takes you some effort to do so, but it will help you to keep your business alive if it really comes to enforcement and whatsoever of your patents, for example. So start early with IP, get all the help you can get, and try to stay positive.
Yes, totally. Before you go on the pitch on the stage to make a pitch, before you enter the market, go see your trusted patent office and friendly government agency to help you, to give you a first idea and opinion on what you're working on and their views.
Thanks a lot again also for your inputs, your good advice as as the friendly mate, and your audience for your time sharing with us. I hope, and I also I hope I speak for you too. You enjoyed this session as much as we did, and you got useful inputs to build up your very personal toolbox to overcome all future pitfalls. Have a nice evening and goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elisabeth. Doing a great job. You know, I've never seen anybody taking a very serious topic and make it so much fun to listen to. Thank you, guys. This was really great. And as we all know, once you're an innovator and you suddenly have several hats that you need to cover, one of which is obviously taking care of your intellectual property. And for that, you got some ins today on how to do that.